Welcome back, friends, to the Fire Pit. Richard here, and I'm just so thankful to be back here again on this beautiful now fall morning. Fall has officially arrived, and it's felt like it. It's been wonderful. I mean, coming out here each morning. Actually, I had to put some long sleeves on yesterday. It was a nice, cool 45 degrees in the morning. And this morning it's in the 50s or so, and it feels just wonderful. I love it. I love being out and being able to get out during the day as I'm working and enjoying the windows rolled down on my truck and just enjoying the breeze as I'm driving through the country. And it's awesome. And I love this time of year, and I'm looking forward to it. I love summer. I love every season. Each season has its place, I guess, but there's something nice about just coming into the coolness of the towards the end of the year again. So again, friends, I hope everybody's doing well. There's just a lot of things kind of resonating in my mind this morning as I'm pondering just life, pondering what's going on in my daily life, it's wild to sit here thinking about. This kind of came to me, and I remember, you typically remember dates very well when things happen, so I can kind of pick up on when anniversaries of certain events occur and whatnot. And today, as I'm recording this, actually is a 1 year to the day that I actually lost my last job. The job I've been in for nearly 14 years or so. So it was a wild, I can't believe that's been a year since all that happened. But so much has taken place in that time since that day. And I remember that morning vividly when everything occurred, and the emotion of it all as everything began to unfold. And I remember calling my wife, Amber, on the way home and telling her what was happening, and both of us just crying together and talking together about it all. But there was like this calm and this sense of it's okay, it's going to be okay, and that really reflected through Amber, through that whole day, and in the days and weeks to follow, and all that. And I didn't realize at the time that and I took time. I took a couple weeks when I first lost the job, and I took a couple weeks to really kind of reflect and kind of ponder, what is my next step? What is God up to now? Where am I supposed to go next and do next? And but I really didn't fully realize that at that time that was effectively ending a 20-year career that I pretty much had built between the last two companies I've worked for. And so as I was reading this morning, actually, I was going through a devotional that a group of us are going through, and on the YouVersion app, and really kind of pondering on who I am. And there was this whole idea of really reflecting on that, giftings and all those things. What do those things say about you? And I started really thinking about, how for so much of my life, and you look over the span of 20 plus years as a working adult. I'm now 42, and what that has been like for me, what I thought were my giftings, what I thought were my strengths, were oftentimes what I see now as skills that were good. I was able to make some decent money. I was able to take care of my family and all that, but there was skills that took advantage of my false self, my ability to kind of hide behind things and not really be seen, and not have to step into the limelight, if you will, of in anything. As a number cruncher, and that was the numbers guy. It was different things that I kind of names that I kind of fell under during that time, and it was really a reflection of my false self in many ways. Excuse me. And I realized as I came to faith over 5 years ago, as I really surrendered to Christ, all that began to shed in many different ways. There were different ways that was starting to kind of go away, that I wasn't really walking as under that kind of identity. I felt this new identity begin to unfold, and these giftings, if you will, if you call them that, that were, I think, hidden within me in different ways that began to really start to come out, whether I wanted them to or not, or whether it was a situation where I was kind of urged into teaching a men's Bible study, or leading a small group, or and then leading a series of weekend 4-day retreats and so forth. And that's just a small sample. And also just being able to learning to sit and listen, and provide counsel, but from a really Christ-centered perspective of being and not being one that's always so quick to been willing to offer. And I think this is where kind of almost my introverted kind of step back kind of self has kind of been redeemed in a way where it's turned me into this into a good listener, if you will, someone that I'm not so quick to share. I love being able to just soak in what's being said, what's being shared, whether it's in a group or a one-on-one setting, and then maybe make inquiries here and there as we're going along, but then offer only when it's time, and not just speaking just to speak, just to give advice. So anyway, I'll go off on a tangent there like that. If I continue there, I'll continue forever in that realm. But as I step back a little bit, and I'm going to digress and ponder back again kind of what has transpired over the last year. And again, at the time I didn't know what was going to happen, but then I began looking for work again. This is the area I've been skilled in, so I began applying for jobs and whatnot, and had some conversations, but kept getting rejection after rejection, or had a couple conversations that seemed promising but then would go nowhere. So that's kind of the way it kind of went for a while, for a number of months. And then as I continued to press forward, there was also this, okay, is this the time to step into ministry full time? Is that what God's leading me? Is that what the next step in my life? And it became apparent that, really, no, that's not really it. And I really felt God saying, son, not yet. It's not the time yet, but just walk with me and hear from me, and we'll see what happens. And so it's returned me to the posture of remembering again, always to just be willing to walk with, trust, and follow God wherever He's leading. And so what He's shown me over the last year, and that's when I really surrendered to Him 5 years ago. And that was the first thing I remember Jesus asking me. He was like, will you trust me and follow me into the unknown? Will you do that? And to which our response to that was yes, I would. And I reflected on that. I thought about it, but I realized that over this last year, this was really kind of the first time that I can remember in the course of my life that I was really put in that position to truly trust Him, where there was there was no other option. From a financial standpoint, money was getting very tight. From there was a lot of challenges that we were facing, family health issues that we were having to deal with at the same time, and it just completely put us in the position of putting everything into the hands of God, of trusting everything to Him. And this was kind of the way it's continued to lead even today. So it's interesting because I knew that's where Jesus started me off, of being willing to say yes to trusting Him and being willing to say yes to follow Him. But when it feels like kind of everything that is pulled out from under your feet, then what do you do with that? And that was kind of that was the thing I've really kind of wrestled with and really thought through over these last months and the last year. And it could have been so easy. It could have been so easy to just to sit back, to play the woe is me game, to fall into depression, let the anxiety get the better of me. And trust me, friends, there were days when the stresses did build up. There were days where, I remember texting a couple guys one morning, I think it was last November, and I was just like, guys, I just don't know what God is doing right now. And I'm really right now questioning the strength of my faith in all this. And so those kind of questions were very real to me, were very vivid and very real in my life. And God bless my wife. She has been so wonderful, and the grace she's shown through all this, and kind of that face that the face of Jesus that she has shown through all of this, of just reminding me of that. Just trust him. God's got us. He's gonna take care of us. We're fine. Even if things don't turn out the way we want them to, he's there with us. It's okay. So that's we've learned that to be the posture. And even now, it's wild how God kind of brings us through these situations. He's not causing me to suffer. He's not causing any of us to struggle in any way, shape, or form. But the way he uses that, I think, is just the most amazing thing that we can contend with. I go back over the last 11 years. 11 years ago almost that I lost my dad in a car accident, and I spent a few years just really lost, uncertain of what was happening. And God didn't cause my dad's accident. He didn't cause my dad's death. But what he did do was use that whole situation. He used that time. He used that to draw me closer to him. And in the fact it's drawn my family closer to him. And the effect it's drawn others closer to him. It's nothing that I've done under my own power. It's nothing that anyone else has done, but it's purely the way God has intervened and stepped in. God, as he works things out for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. It's all for his good. He's not like a puppeteer or anything, pulling the strings and causing different things to happen and different chaos to happen just to see how we'll react. That's not the way it rolls, or he rolls. And so it's been an amazing thing to watch and to walk through and live through over the last year. And friends, I don't know what's going to happen a year from now. Shoot, I don't know what's going to happen a month from now. I have no idea. But what I do know, and what I do know to be true, is the way God continues to be a part of the narrative and the conversation in all of that, and how he continues to kind of weave his way through, to use the circumstances, to use what's going on in our lives to draw us closer to him, to draw us into more deeper union with him. And that's what he's after in every one of us, right? So, and even now, even because there have been days, the last couple months, I started this new job, and to be able to support my family and all that, and there's been a lot of good in it, but yeah, there's definitely stressful days, because it's like it's just a new realm, it's a new way of doing things, and so there are days when I'm just like, and yesterday was one of those days when I was just on the road for hours, probably 11 hours on the road, going from here up into North Georgia and back, and parts in between. And I got home and I was just I was done, right? And but what's so good about all that is that those kind of moments are okay, because I can still invite God into that, and the way he continues to kind of just to be a part of that narrative, and it has been amazing, and There's been so many conversations that have happened over the last week that have helped draw me back even closer to remembering, who God is in all this, what He's up to, and trying to discover what He's up to in the midst of all this, and realizing that He's up to good, so I can learn to continue to live and walk every day with full expectation and anticipation of His goodness coming through and as a part of the narrative. So yeah, it's been quite an amazing year. And I was sending a message out to some friends about it today, and put it on social media, but just it's really reminding me that I want to live, and all of this is all learning to live a lifetime of holy moments in dangerous proximity to Jesus. And that's where I want to live. I want to live so close to Him that I don't know whether to cry or laugh, but I can just continue to just receive His goodness and the joyousness of who He is in every circumstance. And I pray that for every one of you today, that no matter what you're going through, no matter what life is throwing at you, whether it's, and no matter what it is, I'm not even going to name certain things right now, but no matter what's going on, you have a God that loves you. You have a God that's pursuing you. You have a God that wants to walk with you through every circumstance, through everything. If you will let Him, if you will invite Him in, give Him your yes, and let Him be there with you. Trust in Him and follow Him in everything. He will not abandon you. He will not abandon you, no matter what. Even when it gets hard, and even when the things don't work out the way you want them to work out, He will not abandon you. He's going to be there with you. So friends, thank you for joining me this week. Just thank you for being a part of this conversation, and allowing me just to share my thoughts on what's going on and what's happened over the last year. It's been an amazing ride. But I pray you have a blessed weekend and a wonderful next few days, and I'll see you next week on the Firepit Conversation, friends. Take care and God bless.